We got Fizzle in the house. Fizzle, what's good, man? Fizzle, glad to have you here.
Let's go. This the South Harmon Podcast. Glad you here today. Hit that Patreon link if you here to stay. Dynasty best ball, that's my favorite way. 40 chess trade show, let's make a trade today or check a AMA. You know Adam at the ATM. Mike always in the building, he gon' stay with him. They gon' start every show off with their own trade. Fantasy's a big ocean, they made their own wave. Make sure you tapping in Tuesdays and Saturdays. Tuesday night, Saturday morning, ain't no better way. Hit that notification bell when the news break. Go subscribe right now, don't get the news late. Destination Devy, that's the team. Dynasty Football, man, that's my favorite thing. I remember Biggie said it was all a dream. Now people watching on their phones and computer screens. Welcome to the team. Let's start the show.
Oh yeah, let's start the show, Matty. We ain't got Adam, so the production quality isn't going to be what everybody's expected. All right, this is
substitute teacher day.
Yeah, this is substitute teacher day. Definitely, definitely not as good as what Adam's here. He runs the whole show. I've realized now. So for those of you who don't know, this is going to be Executives Week, man. Matty Kiwoom from the Executives, player profiler fame, is in the house. I had Cody Carpenter on last night. We recorded a trade show to come out Saturday. This is the Executives Week, man. I got to promote my guys, but I had him on, and it just I've come to realize these last two nights without Adam here, that's my crutch, man. I really don't do shit at South Harmon. Just I'm the pretty face, apparently. Adam does all the dirty work.
Massive shout out to ATM Adam. I mean, he's the man. Adam's the man. You're the man. Also, massive shout out to Fizzle Dollar. That intro was running, dude. I'm sitting here like, okay.
Have you
ready to go?
I gotta ask you, Matty. Have you checked out his new album drop? Because I haven't
had, dude. I hardly listen to music any longer. I'm an old fart who listens to podcasts all day. But listen, I might have to throw it on tomorrow because that got me fired up.
Well, I'm telling you, man, go listen to his album. It's fire. It'll get you fired up even more. It's good. The whole thing, start to finish, fantastic. Fizzle killed it. So, what is up, everybody? Matty, thank you so much for hopping on, man. Filling in for Adam. We get an upgrade. Production quality goes down. Entertainment value goes up, right? I have somebody. I have somebody on here on an AMA who's not going to argue me about the value of Juju Smith-Schuster, right?
Wait, how do you value Juju Smith-Schuster, sir? Because maybe I will.
We had a hell of a discussion on the Patreon only show about Juju, and people were asking like, who's a buy for you at current cost right now in Dynasty? And I just said Juju, like he's like a round 14 startup, like shit, cost you a second, maybe might be a third and a throw in. Somebody will take that shit. Like to be the number one option in New England currently, he was decent. We got this big long fucking argument. It wasn't even about Juju being good. It was about whether the situation in Kansas City last year was the best he's ever had in his career. And I'm like, well, pump the brakes, man. You remember his sophomore year, Big Ben threw the ball like 9,000 times.
Right.
It's a pretty good situation to be in if you're a
great situation. Completely completely shielded by Antonio Brown. Never saw a number one corner a day that season. 1,400 yards was definitely his biggest output. But you will not hear any arguments from me. I also, Patriots guy. So I'm excited for Juju this year. We got a real offensive coordinator up here this season. No longer will we go with my doppelganger, Matt Patricia, calling checkdowns all day. So, it's very good. And we're very, very excited up here. And I think, the nuke is looming. If DeAndre signs, we have to reevaluate everything when it comes to Juju because what we're hoping for is a lot of volume and for him to repeat that yak season that he had last year because I think only, the top dogs really out-yacked the boy last year.
Right. Like, I'm not saying he's your wide receiver one, but, at the cost of a 14th round startup, I'll take all the Juju, I guess.
Right. If you're saying a second or a third you're talking about probably bringing in your fourth receiver, which was, one of those flex spots would be nice.
Oh, yeah. This reminds me too. I was supposed to call you Marvin. Aaron Seslowski says, "What's up?"
I still can't believe I did that. I can't believe I did that. I mean, I pride myself in my intros. I practice them. And it's not like I didn't know who he was. I've been on a show with him before. I listened to Sonic Truth every week with him. I was on RotoWire. Literally that afternoon, we recorded for the RotoWire show before the game plan, and it was an all-time brain fart. Total fumble on the one. Embarrassing. But hey, he's a good sport. Thank God.
All right, Matty, let me ask you. You saw what went on the last couple days. Apparently,
Viral Mike.
Listen, I didn't try to go viral. It just happened to. But if somebody implements the quarterback horde, are you quitting the league?
100%. 100%.
It's over.
I mean, that's Bush League. It's poor person moves. It's low class, clout chasing, garbaggio. I'm out of that league.
So here's the truth, man. We kind of been all over the place. I didn't even quarterback horde in this league. It wasn't even me.
I know.
It just happens to be. It was one of the patrons who subscribes to us, listens to us. He implemented it. So speaking of the Patriots, we get to round 6, right? And I make the pick before I go to bed, and I'm looking at the board and I'm going, damn, this dude's QB hoarding. Most of the quarterbacks are gone. I'm down to my choice of like Mac Jones, Derek Carr, Aaron Rodgers. Like, these are the quarterbacks left. And I need a third one. It's a best ball league. I need a third quarterback. And I go, this is disgusting, but I'm going to roll with Mac Jones, man. No Matt Patricia. Fuck it. I like Juju. Let's get back to rookie year Mac, not last year Mac. So I said, I'm going to reach, obviously, but I'm not paying this dude like the QB horde prices. Like, I'm not coming shopping. I've been that guy. Good. I'm just going to kick this off. If it's a reach, it's a reach. I don't care. Go to bed. Wake up the next morning. There is a wall of fucking text in this league chat, a wall of text. And I just start at the top and I start reading it. And the guy's upset that there's QB hoarding going on in this league. And he's mad about it. He starts crying about it. And somehow my name gets drug into it. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what am I doing? And Mac Jones pick was a reach. You guys are all donating money. Like, I'm gonna crush every single one of you. This is horrible. I can't believe you guys are doing this. And just keeps going on and on and on. And finally, we get that last message that comes out. And by the way, it wasn't the last message. Let's just say when you say, so I'll end with this, it wasn't the end of this. So I'm looking at it. I'm going like, this dude really just come out with this novel about the QB horde. And he's been crying about it the whole time. I said, this is hilarious. Like, I think Twitter got to see this. Like, not that I want to go viral. I just want to keep it for posthumous. Posthumous. Like, when somebody tells me the QB horde don't work, I can just point back and go like, yeah, it puts people on full tilt. Look right here.
Oh, my God.
Look right here. So I put it on Twitter, and I didn't think it's going viral. But slowly and surely, like, some of the bigger names come on it. The comments are on there, the retweets. Then Sleeper gets a hold of it and quote tweets the damn thing. And I'm like, oh, shit. Like, this is on takeoff mode right now, Matty. I don't know what to feel about this. My phone is going nuts. I'm running out of battery.
Dude, Mike, listen. This tweet, this series of events is going to be the snapshot of the 23 football season. Sleeper said so. They marked this the start of the fantasy football season.
We kicked it off, man. I surpassed the official. Like, the official start to me is always the Scott Fish Bowl because it's such a good thing for the community. That always feels like the real start of fantasy football. But Sleeper was like, nah, we're just
no. Sometimes the what happens before the game needs to be recorded. It needs to make it. All of a sudden, the start time moves up. It was, brother. It was, first of all, it was hilarious for you to put on Twitter because at the end of the day, this is, we'll all it's all supposed to be fun, right? We're all supposed to goof each other. We're all supposed to have some fun. So if it was your boy, like if we were in a league and we are in a couple, and if I started talking like that, you'd throw me on Twitter and I'd be like, damn, he was probably right. I probably shouldn't have gone off like that. But to do it and put him out there was so funny because Full Tilt was on a world stage.
Yes.
We all had front row tickets to a full on tilt. and over QB hoarding, which is hilarious because, we are in a few leagues together. And last year you implemented the QB hoard. The hoard that is going on in your league, this league that sparked all this, would bow down to the QB hoarding strategy you deployed a year ago in the league that we're in.
Those are the first 11 picks.
It was a banana land. And I mean, listen, let's talk about the strategy itself. Because I want to ask you some questions about QB hoard. What makes a QB hoard a QB hoard? Is it the quantity or the quality? Is it the where you take the quarterbacks, or can you have just an X amount of quarterbacks in people's minds?
I think it's first you're going to start with the quality, right? So everything is going to go off of the quality. If you've got a shit ton of Kyle Trask level quarterbacks, nobody gives a shit. No one cares.
Right. And everyone does.
Good luck. Right. Good
Everyone
luck.
Has 4 guys on their bench that Mike White, all the Gardner Minshew's. There's a ton of quarterbacks on everyone's
Nobody
bench.
gives a shit.
And
but if it's a starting quarterback, and it's to different levels. Like if you're in a lineup league, Matty, like people are going to feel much more safe at the QB2 spot if you're starting. Let's just say like even a good QB2, like a Daniel Jones or Kirk Cousins. Like you feel good at your Superflex spot with that.
Mm-hmm.
If you're QB hoarding Ryan Tannehill's in a lineup league, I hate to tell you, it's probably not working. Nobody gives a shit. Nobody does.
No, it's
but
not.
You get
and
into
you're probably
best ball,
just donating.
You get into best ball, Ryan Tannehill will have 6-7 weeks where he's an above average option at quarterback. He's going to have 3 or 4 spike weeks when he's in the top. So it matters to your roster construction. So in a best ball league, if they're a starting quarterback, like they have a job, they matter to QB hoard. Lineup league, Adam and I talked about it on the pod, like you kind of get down to like the Jared Goff range, and I'm like, yeah, we're gonna kind of nip this in the bud here. Like, I'm not too interested anymore. But to your point about the league we did last year, it's also if you do a QB hoard, you kind of got to be okay with being bad. And I think that's what some people don't get. I'm okay if I suck. What happened in the Expo? I didn't trade a single one of those quarterbacks I QB hoarded in that league, right? I took 11 of them. My team was god awful, finished dead last. Now I got Bijan. And guess what I still have? Quarterbacks and a bunch of other good rookie picks like on the team. So even year 2, some of those quarterbacks lost value. But if you still look at it, I still got 6, 7 of them. There's other teams.
I checked it earlier today. It was like 7.
Like that are worth a shit, right? Some are just zeros, right?
But you added, I think it might be more now because you did add Will Levis and you added Anthony Richardson in the draft,
right?
So like the QB hoarding strategy is a 3 to 5 year play, and if people are willing to pay 3 years to lead up to it, like it's a viable strategy. I think anyone truly, I would love to hear your thoughts on this, Mike. Anyone who truly bitches about strategy just hasn't played fantasy football either long enough or in as many leagues as others, because when you play long enough and you play with a ton of teams and a ton of owners, you realize everything you think just sometimes goes out the window. How many bad trades have you seen going like, what a terrible trade. What you did was beyond dumb, to only just look crazy because it was the best trade of the season. It happens. Strategies have to play out. And like, in our Expo league, you were god awful. Last place. Now you have Bijan. Will you win this year? Probably not. But now if you put together these pieces, and let's say you could expedite the process, people only stay salty for so long in QB hoard strategies. Eventually, the ice thaws, and they will decide, I need a quarterback. Like me, from day one, I would have traded you picks for a quarterback. I think I did come after Derek Carr. We just couldn't make a deal on price.
Right.
So, like, I don't care if you QB hoard. I will be someone who buys if I'm looking to buy. I don't care. Because that's one thing I did learn, too. You got to worry about your own roster.
That's the thing, too. Like, you can go into it and see somebody else QB hoard and go, like, I'm not trading with them. I'm not paying the price. But the thing is, if you're in a 12-team league, like, I don't really recommend QB hoarding in a 10-team league. Sure as fuck, don't do it in an 18-team league. But, like, traditional 12-team league, and that one's a best ball league. If you're in it, like, you may say that I'm not trading with Mike. I'm not paying him. And it's not that I'm asking absurd prices. I'm asking a little bit above market value because I want you to feel it, the fact that you passed on him. But you can say, I'm not paying that. I'm not doing it. Like, I'm going to let him suffer. But there's 10 other people in the league. And all it takes is one of them to go, you know what? I do want that 20 points in my super flex spot. Like, I do need that second quarterback. I'd like to win the championship this year. I don't give a shit about Matty's feelings. I'm going for the title, which is ultimately why we play fantasy football in the first place. Like, when that guy went on and on about, like, this is a personal attack, bitch, everything I do in fantasy football is personal in a draft, right? Like, I'm not drafting to make friends. I don't sit here and go, man, Matty really loves Justin Herbert. I shouldn't take him at 105. I should let him have him at 105.
You shouldn't, though. You should let me have him.
I look at it and I go, Matty really likes Justin Herbert. This is personal. I'm taking Herbert. If you want him, come fucking get him.
Oh, 100%. We all do that.
I didn't understand it too. And then the icing on the cake with it was just like, you throw in those things like, I'm rich. Like, and then I got the more clout than you. I got 2 times the followers. Like, who gives a shit? Are you really trying to flex on this? Like, I don't care. You're a fucking nobody to me. Like, you're a guy, when I saw it, I had no idea who the fuck you were. I had no idea. It's just a dude with a name and a generic sleeper logo, right? Like, not even a picture of anything. And I'm thinking it's just one of these dudes. Wow, look at him lose his shit. I had no idea he did content once upon a time. You know, I had no idea that he was a lawyer in Florida at some point. Really is rich, apparently. I don't give a shit. You're just another guy. It's a $50 league. I'm just here to play fantasy football, man. And if you think everything I do is personal, you're damn right. It is personal in the league. I'm trying to win. I'm trying to outsmart you.
We've all just seen a guy on the board that we don't even like, but we know our buddy just has such a hard-on for this player, and we say, you know, I'm going to take him because I know by week 4 he's going to pay me for it. So I'm going to take it. It's a personal thing. I will say this. The second you start flexing on the league mates when it comes to dollars, clout, shit like that, you're fair game to be dragged through all the coals on planet Earth. Right. You have now opened yourself up to be that guy. Don't be that guy. Listen, we all get crazy in the group chat. We all say things to each other. We all do things. And you know what? If he might have blown a casket, came back the next day and be like, listen, guys, I was way out of line. I was just pissed off, butthurt, blah, blah, blah. And you would have been like, oh, cool. Because he would have saw it on Twitter and be like, oh, you know what? It's fine. It's not that big a deal. Right. But someone who goes straight to, I'm rich, you're not, da, 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 it's like, you suck, dude.
It's really upsetting. I'm sitting here doing this stream from a pizza box because I'm so poor. Like, I can barely afford this. So I had to steal this Wi-Fi to do this stream. Stealing it from my neighbor's pizza box.
How did you get electricity in your spot being so poor? Are those Christmas lights?
I got a bunch of rats that I've trained to run on wheels. Like generators, so we're good.
If Mike flips the camera out, he's got his kid running on the treadmill to get his power going all 2 hours of night. Yeah.
Daddy's got a stream. No, I thought it was very crazy, and the fact that it went viral, and Aaron Seslowski's in this league too, so he got to experience.
He is, yes.
So you can you and him can chat it up about that too, get his perspective. But apparently, once that guy found out it was on Twitter, he lost a fucking nut even more, and then left the league, and thankfully found somebody to fill it because the team is god awful. It's garbage. It's got a lot of potential, but Brock Purdy as your QB1 would make you shit your pants in a best ball league, I think. So the poor fella.
You know, and at the end of the day, it was in the tone also. You don't allow those who waited on QB to execute their plan. Oh, I'm sorry. Are we supposed to help each other out here? And right. Are we supposed to look out for those that we're trying to win money from? I don't think that's how competition works, Mike.
No, it was a weird dynamic too, and you know, whether you thought it was right or wrong for me to post it on Twitter, I thought it was hilarious, so I was going to put it on there. You know, I think when you open yourself up, especially that the issue I had with it was okay to shit talk me and drag me through the mud while I was asleep and not paying attention, and it's okay to do it to 11 other people. Mm-hmm. But the minute it went to Twitter, you know, the minute it got posted on Twitter, and other people can make their own determination on whether you're being a fucking douchebag or not. And overwhelmingly, everybody thinks you're a douchebag. You lose your mind about it. It's like, you were okay when it was just a small group of people, but hey, when we blow it up, now you're feeling the remorse. And it's like, you know, I don't know why he felt it was okay to say it in league chat, but, you know, publicly, then it's a different story. It wasn't like it was a one-on-one DM or, you know, where you leaving voicemails back and forth or shooting text messages that are fully private. You thought it was okay to bring other people in, so hell, I'll bring apparently all of Twitter with me. I guess
I'm pretty positive Elon saw that tweet, man. Elon saw that shit, Mike.
That could be the only reason that I've seen everybody else on Twitter get like suspended or neutered because of spam, but mine's still going because Elon's like, this is a revenue generator.
Elon's like, yeah, I completely agree with QB hoarding. Breaking news: Elon Musk is a QB hoarder.
We knew it.
We broke the case. And in your defense, also, you didn't say like, "Hey, look at this fucking asshole." You didn't call him a single name in your tweet. You just said the internet's gonna want to see this. This is good. And then everything. There's not a response from you in there. It's just literally his words on a grand stage, and the people got to judge on how this dude sounded, and the people spoke, Mike.
Well, we got a super chat here from Nate. How do you play a QB Hoard when you get multiple elite assets? 10-team Superflex start 11 lineup: Mahomes, Watson, Richardson, Rodgers, Lance, 24-101. Interesting, you got the 24-101. You have to follow up, like, how do you know it's the 101, or is your team that bad? How do you play a QB Hoard? Listen, this is kind of the thing. When I see QB Hoard and 10-team Superflex, I already kind of go, like, you take out those 2 teams and those 4 starting quarterbacks you need in a 12-team league. Like, that's a big deal, Matty. If you think about it, 10 times 2, man, no expert, but that's 20. There's 32 teams. Now,
right.
You add those 4 on, now it's 24. Most people in a 12-team, you're going to need a third quarterback. You're going to need a third one. That's 36. There's only 32 teams. So the math is math in there, right? In the 10-team league, you only need 30. So there's usually 2 floating out there where it's like, no one really gives a shit. You can probably find one. So I don't know. I can't say I have any experience in a 10-team league, right? Period.
I don't really, and I would say too, in a 10-teamer, you're almost forced to trade one of your top 2, right? I mean, you look at this guy's roster, he's got some QBs to trade, but is he going to get a ton for Richardson? Is he going to get a ton for Rodgers or Lance right now? In 10-teamers, like you said, math is math. So we have to be a little bit careful with that. So 10-teamers, the strategy might not work as dramatically as it would in a 10. But I mean, I would say what Nate's got going on right here is a pretty good just roster. I wouldn't really rush into anything because, we don't know what Watson or Richardson is going to be. Having Rodgers on this roster could be the lifesaver that he needs and give him multiple weeks in that Superflex spot if Richardson or Lance or Watson don't fire like we would like them to do. So I would say kind of stay put here and kind of let it play out throughout a little bit of the season and then start attacking. When maybe Richardson pops, you could trade Watson. If Rodgers is just lighting the earth on fire in his revenge tour in New York, then make a move.
So he said the 101 team only has Jalen Hurts, nothing else. So like that's why he thinks it's locked into the 101, which is fair. If you believe that 101 though, I'm not moving unless it's back to that manager and I'm like getting Jalen Hurts straight up. You know what I mean? Like you're gonna have to overpay for your pick back. Otherwise, fuck you. I'm gonna hold it until next year when we know and it keeps building and building value. If I'm doing this, like I'm really comfortable. I want Mahomes on my team. I want Watson. The A-Rich thing, like if you could sell them and people want to pay that premium, by all means. But like the Rodgers, the Lance, like I'm probably just letting them go. I'm finding somebody who needs a quarterback who's going to pay more than what they're actually worth in a 10-team Superflex. And it doesn't have to be an elite overpay, but like these aren't really assets bona fide to my team. They're not really going to do anything. Maybe you package them with a wide receiver to get an upgrade. Right? Maybe you got a weak wide receiver 3 or wide receiver 2. I want to boost this up. All right, you need a quarterback. Let me put this shittier receiver with it. And let me go get an actual really good one. So I do think just the overall theme, though, in 10-team, it's a lot harder and it's more dicey. The QB Hoard 12-team makes it so much easier. 14-team, you're in heaven because there's definitely somebody out there with a horrible quarterback room. Absolutely,
100%, 100%. And Nate, one last piece of advice I will give you here is don't get over patient. If you see a deal that you like Mike's talking about, and you get that slight overpay, don't always believe that the grass is greener because it's that 10-teamer. You want to make sure you strike when the iron's hot.
I feel that. Well, let me scroll back up to the top of the chat. We missed a bunch of people in here. I got to say what's up to them. Yeah. Adam says, lesson if things don't go your way, just give up. So that's what you do if you're stopped, apparently. And the Hoard that broke the rich man's back. These sound like novels. These are like self-help books. If he hoards, he hoards. A little shout out to Rocky IV there.
Yeah.
Oh. TD Swinford, thank you. First time being able to catch it live. Awesome. Glad you could tap in.
Shout out TD.
Let's go. Dr. B here. Shithead stand up. Yeah. I don't, Matty too. I think it's one of those things that was like counterproductive too to the QB Hoard movement. Like, it's made it more popular now. There's going to be more people out there going, hey, I want to try.
I'm trying it. Mike, I'm trying it. I have to know for myself. I have to have some experience. I am going to QB Hoard. Get in a league with Kiwoom, and you will see a QB Hoarder.
Right. All right, we got another super chat, Joey Estrada. Thank you. Thanks for the great content, fellas. 10-team Superflex, start 8. So this is the shallowest of shallow that you could possibly get. QBs are Allen and Herbert. Well, that's a good start. Got a trade of my Herbert for Richardson, Gibbs, and Burks. My only good running back is Chubb, so Gibbs would help my team. Okay, so here's the only problem I have with this, right? Justin Herbert is fantastic. Had a bad year last year, but I think we all expect him to be back in that like top 7, top 5 conversation of quarterback. Yeah. The talent's there. Kellen Moore's in town. The offense should be better. If you're going to A-Rich, I think A-Rich is an incredible talent, and I think he's appropriately priced in Dynasty. Let me just say that. But from a production standpoint, Matty, like, how safe do you feel about, like, if you had to remind you, he needs studs in this league, 10 teams, start 8. How safe do you feel that A-Rich comes even relatively close to the production Justin Herbert would give you this year?
I don't think it's going to be all. It's tough to say because the rushing ability from Richardson is that tantalizing. We're talking about the most athletic quarterback probably in the history of modern day football. But he's probably going to need a Justin Fields-esque season running the football to compete with what Herbert can put out there, right? I mean, Herbert last year was the first time in his career he had under 30 touchdowns. He only had 25. He was clearly playing with a hurt rib. He had 147 rushing yards. The year before, he had over 300. 0 rushing touchdowns. He had 8 over the first 2 seasons in the NFL. So we're going to see, I think, a massive wave of touchdown regression coming his way. We got a better offensive coordinator. A first-round wide receiver will be injected into this offense. Austin Eckler ain't going anywhere. I think that we're looking at Justin Herbert getting back into, like you said, top 5, top 8 conversation. And if you're going to put that label on a Richardson right now, I just think it's going to be you're putting yourself in a situation where the floor can fall out underneath you when you're going into a league where you need studs and you got 2 of them, man. I mean, Allen and Herbert is a weapon.
Right. You think about it. He's got 2 of the start 8 already locked down with elite players, right? You got a pretty good advantage over most people in your league having those guys.
Have to.
I don't think I do doing this if I'm trying to compete this year. Like, I don't. Gibbs is awesome. I love Gibbs, and we just did an AMA about me gushing over Jahmyr Gibbs. But again, every year we do this with rookies. Like, we just project them to all walk in and just produce immediately and produce at high clips. So where they're being drafted at in Dynasty, that's rarely the case, Matty. Like, even the greats, Justin Jefferson. You remember the first couple weeks of Justin Jefferson's rookie year? It was like full on panic. Was it Olabisi Johnson that was beating him out in training camp? Like, Justin Jefferson's not getting on the field. Mm-hmm. Jonathan Taylor that same year wasn't that great for probably the first 6-7 games. Mm-hmm. It takes these rookies, even at positions where you can step in and have immediate production like running back or wide receiver. It takes them a while sometimes. Quarterback, definitely. I mean, Justin Herbert is kind of the anomaly at rookie quarterback. And I think since Justin Herbert's rookie year, we all just expect these rookie quarterbacks just to come in and do what he did. It doesn't usually happen, man. I think I'm okay just keeping Herbert here. If I was more in a rebuilder, like, I know he's not because he's got Chubb, but if I was more on a rebuilder, I think I'd entertain this offer a lot more. Go down to A-Rich. I pick up a Gibbs. I pick up a Burks. I just try to stack depth and value and de-risk myself. But even then, I think it still feels a little bit light. So, Joey, for me, I'm passing on this one because I don't think like Treylon Burks is fine. But in a start 8, 10-team league, how often are you really starting them and feeling good about it? Like, there's a lot of wide receiver options that you're going to feel pretty good about. Gibbs, yes, would make your lineup. Richardson, I just don't think he scores enough rookie year. So that's my answer.
Yeah, with you there for sure. He's going to be able to find a nice little running back too throughout the way if he's a true competitor in this format.
Right. We got Destination Devy in the building. Let's go. Dynasty Berries in here. Koopa. We all Redwoods. Even Adam. Adam's off. He don't care.
ATM. Adam, what up? Mike, when you asked me to come on the show, I think my answer was hell yeah. Of course I'm coming on AMA.
No question.
But then you went ahead and went viral before your boy came on. Oh, baby, what a treat.
Listen, I was trying to do right by you, Matty. Like I can't throw out the invitation. I can't have the executives week. Patreon.com/the executives. There, I'll plug your stuff. I'm in that Discord.
You're not only in that Discord, you are. I mean, you're the man. Mike's man. Everyone here tuning in knows this for a fact. They tune in, they rock with you. But you and Adam, dude, truly, you're the real ones in this industry. That's why I love you. That's why we've been able a chance to kick it, and that's why you guys are the best. And you, Mike, class act, my friend.
Oh, what else we got here? Just drafted tonight, QB centric, L. Jax, A. Rich, Kyler, Love, Levis in the 14th round, damn near 50th. Holy hell. Jimmy G. Wow. 10 teams, Superflex, best ball, large rosters. Now, I talk about 10-team leagues where I don't like the QB Hoard, but in best ball, I think it opens it up at least a little bit, doesn't it, Matty? Because you have so many options every single week. Like, you almost guarantee yourself not having a bad week and a best ball at the quarterback spot. Some people are going to stubborn. Yeah, they're going to have their – I know some people kind of talked about it where, like, your flex, you might have a wide receiver go off. I heard Alan and Theo talking about it. Like, you might have that receiver who goes off. And I think the kind of fallacy you think about when you think best ball is like, oh, well, that'll go into my super flex spot and replace it. I said, no, it actually goes into your flex spot. What goes into your super flex spot in your best ball is your worst bench option possible. Right? Like
100, and you're talking about the quarterbacks suck that week.
Right.
You're talking about not a great output on the week. You're
looking at like a wide receiver who scored like 6 points being in your super flex spot while somebody else is sitting there with a quarterback that scored 20, 25, 30. Like that's tough to compete with. I think I'm okay with this in a 10-team best ball. Like some of these quarterbacks in a 10-team lineup, I don't have any interest in. No thanks to Love. I like Will Levis, but no thank you. Like that'd just be a death option, even though the value you got on him was pretty good. And then Jimmy, the 15 too. Is he that dead?
I don't know that Jimmy that he's a starter with Devontae Adams in his lineup. Jacoby Myers, he could stumble on it. What I love about this here, though, I love this Kyler in the 5th round. That Kyler Murray dip, it continues to sink. And, we're not that far removed from him being, top 5 dynasty option at the quarterback position, one of the most coveted position, of course, in Superflex. So to grab him in the 5th round, I love that. It just gives him some extra flexibility to make moves later on. But I believe in Love. I do think he will have a good season this year. I actually, back when I was on AMA with Adam a few months ago, I had said that Love was going to have a better season than Trey Lance, and that's looking damn good because Treyway may not find himself on the gridiron.
Don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
We'll see. But hey,
listen, we get Cody Smith in here. He'll never let me live it down.
I mean, you had Ray on. You guys talked about Trey Lance. So I'm not going to get into it. Okay.
I think I'm donating $100 to Cody Smith, right, from the overreaction pod on Destination Devy. It feels that way.
It could be.
Oh well.
But this double tap 14-9 to 15-2 at quarterback. I think that was where the overkill makes it. You might regret that pretty early.
Yeah, you might get a take or two. Like you might get a couple usable wide receivers or running backs out of that too when somebody just trying to fill depth at quarterback. So not the worst. Listen, the L. Jax, A. Rich, Kyler start I love because Kyler's been falling ridiculously far. A. Rich, man, 12-team Superflex leagues. This dude's a 1st-round pick just about everywhere, if not early 2nd-round pick in the startup. So, you got him in the 3rd round. I get it as 10 teams, a little bit different, but I'm cool with that. That's a pretty good QB road. Like I feel fine with it. City. What else we got here? Yo, the small group of people, the entire league agrees that you're in the wrong, Mike. Thanks, Redwords. I'm late. Anyone hoarding QBs in here? Matty's going to start.
Alvin, let's get in a league together, buddy. Get me in a league with you. I will be hoarding some QBs.
Right. I'm looking for some good questions there. We got so many good comments. How about this one? Nathan McGrath, 16-team, 1 quarterback. So he's going to give up Javonte. He's going to get Derrick Henry in a 25 first. Like, I hope there's not another Henry, is there?
He can't be Hunter Henry. That's the only other Henry. Hunter Henry.
Okay, we're good then. Hunter Henry. Yeah. I'm trying to think. There's not like
no, there's no secret move here.
Okay, Derrick Henry, 16-team, 1 quarterback. Where are you at with Derrick Henry? Let me start there.
Derrick Henry is just. I'm not going to count him out until it's too late. That's the type of guy that I think you run the clock out with if you have him, unless someone's going to overpay. But he still has everything in the tank. He's 29. He's just built different. The tread on his tires started early in high school, but he didn't run a ton. He didn't get a ton of carries at Alabama, not like we're used to. And then, of course, in his career with the Titans, he has had some absolute monstrous output seasons. But in this type of trade here, I mean, you're getting a first, so you're also hedging your future. And you're getting a better running back here. If you can keep injury involved, because I think that's going to be very much part of the equation with Javonte. I don't see a scenario where there's many outs that Javonte comes close to outscoring Derrick Henry in 23. And now you got that extra first in 25 to play around with over the next 2 years. You have that time on your side. I think this is a home run getting Henry in the first for sure.
Yeah, I had to pull up my ranks here just to look at it, right? Sometimes I question myself, like, how much was I drinking?
It's tough to keep it all up here.
well, that too. Like, how much was I drinking that night? Sometimes you get a little love. I'm like, oh yeah.
Was Adam yelling at me about Juju Smith-Schuster? And
right.
I made a hasty change.
Unlike Adam, I keep my rankings updated. Boom. No, Derrick Henry. Yeah. I got him in the same tier as Javonte, but it's a big tier, Matty. And
of course, it's the muck.
Derrick Henry's at the top of that tier. So, just for me, when I looked at it, I'm like, I'd take Henry straight up over Javonte personally. I'd rather have that. Yeah. You give me a free 25 first. This is no brainer for me. I love this. I was looking at it. So the startup we were talking about where, the lawyer got mad and quit, or ex-lawyer, whatever. I don't know. But I was like, wasn't an option.
That salty.
Because I ended up taking Derrick Henry in that league, and I was trying to see if it was even a choice whether I took Henry or Javonte. But no, Javonte went around earlier, so it wasn't a choice for me. But I wasn't upset with Derrick Henry.
How could you
just say that?
I also want to say something about Javonte. There's this like popular misconception. I don't know if it's a misconception or if it's borderline misconception, but that he's like a fantastic dynasty asset. How do we know that he's Sean Payton's guy? Sean Payton wasn't there to draft him. Sean Payton will go through pretty much the entire preseason without, Javonte probably being that focal point running back. He's going to be losing a lot of some RGP, right? A guy he did bring in on his own willingness. So we don't know if Javonte is his guy going forward with the running back landscape the way it is and how there's just seemingly a wave of good ones every year. There's not always the Bijans, but there seems to be a ton of guys that are usable in, let's just say, a year from now, the Denver Broncos are fresh off taking a running back in the early portion of the third round. Javonte, how safe is he? So I don't necessarily think that Javonte is this long-term asset that's like set in stone. I think getting the win now asset in Henry is a lot more predictable and kind of leaves you with a whole less, a whole less negative outcomes from now till, next season even.
Right. I'm with you. This is one of the best ones, right? From Alvin Bailey. Did a quarterback hoard last year in a 12-team dynasty. A guy traded me Breece Hall for Carr.
That's why you do it, baby.
That's why you do it. And I've had these trades all over the place, right? Like we've had them on the trade show. I've done them. They're not always when you want them. And they just pop up at random times. But, I've traded Daniel Jones when he's at his lowest. People hated Daniel Jones for Kyle Pitts in a 2 tight end league, straight up. Right? And this is the price, man. What do you want? I want Kyle Pitts. Shit, I need a quarterback. Go ahead.
There it is.
This is what happens.
We get silly when it comes to quarterbacks, especially if you're sniffing the playoffs or sniffing at championship aspirations. You can get a little nutty when it comes to paying up for a quarterback.
Right. How about this one from Dynasty Dumpster Fire? What a name. I already have Lamar, T-Law, and Watson at quarterback. So he's got what Adam and I were talking about on the QB Hoard episode. He's got that mini QB Hoard, but it's QB Hoard with elite quarterback assets, right? Where you put the pressure on the league because you got 3 of the top 12 or 3 of the top 10, or, in this case for me, this is 3 of the top 9 quarterbacks at worst. So he's got a third of them already on it. Would you send Purdy and Lance in a 24-second and a fourth? The fourth is kind of irrelevant, but for the 23, 110, 201, 24 third, and Jimmy G. So Purdy, Lance, and a second.
I'm going to say no. I would much rather take this deal apart and sell off these individual pieces because the 110 isn't really it's a valuable asset. But what are we talking about here? With the 110, you've missed the Addison train. with the hype behind Quentin Johnson, you're probably missing that train. You're looking at, Zay Flowers, Kendre Miller, Roshan. I don't know if that's the oomph that I'm looking for. And one of Purdy Lance will have a price bump from now until August. So I don't think I like trading both of them and a 24-second to get the 110, 201 this year. Jimmy G is kind of he's great to have in your best ball super flex, but you don't need him when you got these three. So I don't think I'm doing this trade.
Lance hasn't been on a good trajectory, and I'm kind of taking my lumps, but I'd rather just keep him on my roster at this point, right?
Absolutely.
And
you never know what can happen.
Yeah,
a trade, who knows?
Right. And you got the other one, the name He Who Shall Not Be Named, who has the possibility of being the starting quarterback. So, yeah, I'm good, man. I got to trade my 24-second along with it. No, I'm just going to hold this. This isn't enticing enough for me to give up these quarterbacks or the possibility of what they can come. You're just not getting enough back for me. I'd pass on that one. Right. It's a 12-team Superflex, start 9. If it's start 9 too as well, like the quarterback is one of the things. Even the junkier quarterbacks carry value because you definitely want to plug a quarterback every time you can into Superflex regardless.
For sure.
And what you're going to get back in the 110 and 201, whether that's Zay Flowers, whether that's, Kendre, A-Chain, Charbonnet, whoever in a start 9, man, how often are you going to put them in your lineup, especially early? Like very, very rare. Right.
And the best pick there long-term might be Will Levis still, and you're not going to be getting anything from him maybe all year.
Yeah, I'm good on that. I'd pass on that one for me. How about this one? Dynasty FF, 12 teams, Superflex, PPR, start 9. Saquon or Addison, James Cook in a third. So do you want quads or do you want Addison, James Cook in a third and a start 9, Matty?
I love Jordan Addison. But I don't think this is enough for Saquon because I don't believe that Cook will ever truly see that type of ceiling that we can consistently rely upon. Damian Harris is there now, so they got their new maybe upgrade in the Devin Singletary role. I saw somebody tweet this. I can't remember who it was. I wish I remember to give him some credit. They labeled James Cook as this era's Duke Johnson, and I can see it, man. I could see it.
Man, I like James Cook. I've kind of come around.
I like Duke Johnson too, though. That's the thing. I like Duke Johnson.
I know. There's been so many of these guys, hasn't there? Been like, I like this guy, and they never do anything.
CJ Procise couldn't stay healthy. That guy had, chance to be Himothy.com. He didn't.
Because it's a start 9 and it's a lineup league, I'm going to roll with quads. I'm going to plug him in every single week and not even think twice about it, as long as he's, playing football. So I'm going to roll out quads here. If this was a best ball league, Matty, I think I'd be more intrigued. That James Cook is going to come anywhere close to what Saquon would score, but the combination of James Cook and Addison and third round in a best ball league, like the picks you take there, you might get 1 or 2 spike weeks out of those guys, or you might get a handful of consistency weeks, even though their dynasty value ain't that great. I think the package might actually equal or surpass Saquon on a weekly basis in best ball. So I think in best ball, I'd be more intrigued. Lineup, hell no. Give me quads.
I think I'm smashing accept if it's best ball, honestly, because if best ball was more prominent when Duke Johnson around, I don't think he would have been he wouldn't have, caused as much pain because the worst thing about it was those spike weeks were on your bench. Best ball, that ain't going to happen. So best ball, I think I'm taking the package.
I'll take it. We got people out here. Mike and Ray G still with that Lance Hopium. All right, not so much Ray G. I'm not going to let you throw shots at my man Ray G. Ray is just playing nice when he's on the pod. Like he's a man of the people. He understands I'm going through some things. I'm hurting, so he wasn't going to just drive the dagger in because every time we're in that Discord, Destination Devy, it's always some Lance propaganda that he's posting in there. So he does it there. On the podcast, he's more nice. He knows I'm fragile. Is there a shit dynasty league? If so, how do I get in? Yes. How many of these do we have? A ton.
I'm in 2 of them with you.
Right.
I'm in shit worldwide in the expo.
The best way to get in, Alvin, join the Patreon, patreon.com/South Harmon. $1 gets you in the door, get you access to the league chats. We're always firing them up. Apparently, from some of the patrons, I don't fire leagues up fast enough because they're like making ones without me, which is I feel ashamed. You
created a monster, Mike.
I know. But yes, if you do it, somebody asked to can we do one one patron league where we draft after the NFL draft, and I said never. It's never going to happen ever again. Never.
Yeah, baby.
We have a few out, and usually the posted leagues channel. Yes, a few. How about this one? 10-team start 10 Superflex traded Justin Fields, CeeDee Lamb, Michael Mayer, 26th third for Mahomes, Hawkinson, 24 second, early second, and a 26 first. All right, so Fields, Lamb, Mayer, and a third, or you want Mahomes, Hawk, 2 seconds, and a 26 first.
I think this is a pretty good trade getting Mahomes. When you get Mahomes, you're putting yourself in a winning situation pretty much every single time. But see, this is why QB hoarding works, right? Because Fields and Lamb in most leagues that I've played in throughout my life would be laughed at for Mahomes. You make CD, I'm not adding CD to a top 5 to 8 quarterback to go up to quarterback 2 or 3. But in a super flex, when you're starting 10 and you got 10 teams, so you're looking for the stud of studs, Mahomes is stud of studs. And you're also getting Hawk here. So when I'm looking at the trade, I see Justin Fields and Lamb for Mahomes, maybe throwing the picks here to balance. Mayer, Hawk throwing the picks to balance. I'm going to take the Mahomes Hawk side because I also am a big TJ Hawkinson fan going into 2023. But, man, it would pain me to trade my boy CeeDee Lamb.
I know. I'm out here defending him too. I'm out here defending CeeDee Lamb, it feels like, from the Hoard. But I love Fields. I love Lamb. But Patrick Mahomes is Patrick Mahomes, man. And it wasn't like you only got Patrick Mahomes. It wasn't like you traded Fields and Lamb and Mayer. You just got Mahomes back. You got Hawkinson. Listen, I'm an Iowa guy. He's on the fucking poster back here for Christ's sake. The 38, right? Those of you who don't know, he went to Iowa.
Yep.
And he wore 38. Like, what a gangster number to wear for a tight end. But we went to Iowa, so I'm a big Hawkinson fan now. I think he's a little bit overvalued in Dynasty. People a little bit over their skis, but you got a pretty good tight end back, one that you're going to start in most leagues, and a couple picks and a 26 first, even though it feels like 57 years down the road. If this league's going to be around then, at some point you might be like, how the hell did I get this first? Holy shit, I got this first. I got the 103 and Patrick Mahomes in a deal way back in 2023. I'm a legend.
I'm really about to partner up Arch Manning with Pat Mahomes. Who am I? The GOAT?
Right. Yeah. I'm with you. I'll take the Mahomes side here. 10 team. I just 10 team, 12 team lineup. Doesn't really matter. Best ball league. I want Patrick Mahomes.
Give me Patty.
All right, damn it. I'll answer this, James. You know I hate it already, though. 18 league. I know. He put I know. All right, so that's why I clicked it. Start 12 single quarterback. Son of a bitch. 18.
So this is a member from the show The League, right? Where wasn't the show The League an 18 league with one QB?
Oh my God. Single quarterback.
Is Steve Renazizi? Steve, is that you? Steve Renazizi?
Rafi?
Is this Rafi?
Geno Njoku, Ramondre Stevenson, 24 first and 25 first, probably mid-contender, or Lamar, Andrews, and Dobbins. So Geno Njoku, Ramondre, a 24 and a 25 first, or Lamar, Andrews, and Dobbins. 18, start 12, single QB. Where are you at?
The only thing I would like to know is if Geno was his 1 QB or if Geno was his QB2, and this upgrade for Lamar isn't as significant as Geno to Lamar in 1 QB. That would be the only thing I'd want to know. But let's just say it's not. Let's say Geno was the guy he used all last year, and his other quarterback is, Kenny Pickett, something in that range where we're not talking about a bona fide starter. I think I like the Lamar side. I think I'm okay with trading the extra firsts. Ramondre, I am a little bit more pessimistic on the Ramondre 2023 outcome than a lot of people are, so maybe there's that bias. But I think that this is a massive upgrade at tight end. You get that stack, one of the best stacks, and at the end of the day, Lamar Jackson probably still has the highest ceiling of all quarterbacks in fantasy football. His 28-point-a-game season was the best QB season we've seen, I think, in the last 15 years or so, 10 years. Lamar still has that in him, and if he can be healthy and he can reach that level, we're talking about a true difference maker here. The 25 first pains me, but at the end of the day, you have time to go recoup some of those picks if need be. I like the side getting the 3 studs because, again, I'm just realizing now they're all Baltimore Ravens, too.
Right. Let's get the whole Baltimore team.
I just realized, James, they're all Baltimore Ravens. But, Todd Monken's in town, and I'm choosing, and this is just me, so if you don't want to choose this might flip a few, but I'm choosing to believe that Todd Monken is going to turn this into a higher-paced, more modern-day offense. And with these assets, with these skill players on that offense, I mean, we could look at massive seasons for the Baltimore Ravens.
I'm just happy for the people at home who got the bingo card out and were like, listen, Adam's not here. We're probably not getting a Todd Monken reference on this AMA. And Matty comes in with the heat, drops it. I love it. The only issue, let me just talk this through, right? It's an 18 league. Where do we kind of project Lamar? Like for most people, he's QB 6, 7, 8. Like he's in that range. You are literally, if you think about it, you're starting the worst starting quarterback in an 18 league because there's all the other 7, hypothetically,
that's a good
on
point.
other people's teams, right? Like
that is a good point.
You're already behind the 8 ball, and that's what you're paying up for. Like you're paying up for the end of the tier, essentially. And if I'm doing that, I'm kind of okay, man. Ramondre Dobbins, I prefer Ramondre, but the Dobbins thing, like I understand. Now I got to give a couple picks in there. Going from Njoku to Andrews is a big deal.
Yeah,
it is. I don't know. Sadly, I'm okay with the Geno and Njoku, Ramondre, and the pick side. Like I'm okay keeping my picks. Now, if these are like somebody else's picks and I know they're going to be the 108, fine. Like I'll send them away. But if they're mine, I'd rather keep that flexibility, and I'd rather explore like different options. If upgrading my quarterback, like to get into that one is like the big thing, I think you can do better, and you don't have to give up the Rhino to do it. Like maybe it's not Geno, but whoever the hell your QB1 is. I hope it isn't Geno. But if you got a decent enough QB1, maybe it's that and those 2 first to get you up there to the quarterback that you really want. That's the difference maker, and you still hold on to Ramondre.
Yeah, that's all in one QB. That's an option. You don't have to have a blockbuster go down and get a quarterback in one QB.
No.
You can kind of, if you want to tier up till you get to that Lamar level in an 8-teamer, you can go that route. You don't always have to swing for the fences.
Right. All right, we got a super chat here from Fizzle, the man who starts the show off. Shout out Mike, always showing love and apparently becoming Kiwi Hoard enemy number 1 in these dynasty streets. Matty, glad you could make it tonight. It's the South Harmon podcast. Glad you here today. Appreciate you, Fizzle, man. You're a real one. And Matty, I told you got to check out his album
tomorrow.
I told the listeners, go check out his album. It is fire. Look at me. I'm 36 years old. I got kids. I'm bearded, going gray. I'm out here using terms like fire. Maybe next time I say mid, just slap the shit out of me.
Hello, fellow kids. This podcast is lit.
Oh, no. Yes to the hot club. Now for the true Koopa test. What do you think about Geno? Matty, he's asking you because he already knows what I feel about Geno. We just had the Geno in a trade, but Geno Smith, Koopa wants to know.
He is what we think he is. He's a solid quarterback in the 15 to 20 range. If you want to condense it, probably that 17, 18 range. He's got tremendous weapons. He could get you out of a pickle in one QB and definitely in Superflex, having him be that kind of QB3 that can truly kind of elevate the potential of your roster, the league that we're in, the Expo League. The reason why we didn't end up making that Derek Carr trade was because I stumbled upon Geno Smith, kind of cured that ill without me needing to pay for it. So that's kind of what he is for me. You're not going to win a championship on the back of Geno Smith, but he's definitely valuable in a contending team for this season, given those weapons are just bonkos, man. The Seattle offense, if Pete Carroll can just put the pedal to the metal, you know what I mean, and not play football like it's 1947,
yes,
I mean, we could see a lot of fireworks from that offense, no doubt.
Yeah, stop being a team establish it, right? Don't be team establish.
It's time to establish points. Let's establish scoring points.
Which actually last year, if you look at some of it, they threw the ball at an above average clip. So they were actually pretty good.
He's learning. No, Pete Carroll's a good coach. So I think we should take what he's doing as, it's easy to make fun. It's easy to poke fun at him. But at the same time, we did see them take strides in the right level, kind of just using Geno Smith a little bit more, but still just only middle of the pack in terms of team pass plays per game. But come on, you don't use a pick on JSN at 20 overall without looking to elevate again.
Let me just talk. Isn't it weird? Because I've heard this argument, right, with the Zach Charbonnet thing. They took Charbonnet. They want to get back to team establish it. Why we completely ignore the fact that in the first round, they used a pick on a fucking wide receiver. It's just counterintuitive. So I thought that was very strange. Drew Sorensen music. I got offered Amon-Ra for my Devontae Smith straight up. Half PPR league. Decided to stay with Smith for the rest. All right. So what do you got? You got Smitty or you got Amon-Ra, Matty, Feet to the fire.
I love Smitty, but I got Amon-Ra. I just think Amon-Ra's that dude. Amon-Ra's even in half-point PPR. I mean, what we were worried about volume. Jamison Williams is going to be gone for the first 6 weeks of the season. TJ Hawkinson is gone. Sam Laporta's there. We like Laporta, but how much volume can a rookie tight end truly take away from an absolute alpha like Amon-Ra? I'm sticking with alpha. I would rather have Amon-Ra.
I'm with you. Amon-Ra for me, and I'm an Eagles fan. All right, so dividend growth investor. It's so funny that we were talking about the rich lawyer. We got dividend.
We got an investor in the house, baby.
We're expanding here at South Harmon. I have no QB.
Subpoenaed, Mike. Could you get subpoenaed for QB hoarding?
Maybe.
Can he subpoena your ass? Can you do that? Does he have jurisdiction from Florida, wherever he is, to Iowa?
Well, I know it's not libel or slander when it's true. So that's all I got going for me. So dividend growth investor, he's got no QB3 in a 12-team Superflex league. Should he give up his 25 first for Russell Wilson? All right, this is you, Matty. If you don't have a QB3 and you're competing this year, you giving up your 25 first for Russ?
Yeah, because I do believe in Russ. I think Russ takes a step forward. I think he is a good quarterback in. I didn't specify it's a lineup or not, but in lineup league, it's a little less enticing, but in best ball, for sure, I'm doing this because I do believe in Russ. But I think either way, I'm going to take the trade, especially if you're trying to win. If I mean, you're not looking to upgrade your QB3 if you're not looking to win right now.
I think it's completely fine, lineup or best ball. Best ball, definitely a smash. Lineup league, the only thing I would say, the only caveat, like just to give you the full context of it, if I'm sitting there and I already have 2 top 8 options in a lineup league, Matty, if I already have Herbert and Burrow, let's just say I got those 2 studs rolling out, I'm less inclined to like really spend up for my QB3 spot. And I'm probably more looking like, hey, what's it cost to get Ryan Tannehill? What's it cost to get, Brock Purdy? What's it cost to get, like Baker Mayfield and Baker Mayfield and Kyle Trask or something along those lines? What does it cost to get one of these turds? Because I imagine for most people, it's a second, might be a couple thirds, might be something in that ballpark. And I get to keep my first. I don't have to pay for it. And I'm just going to roll out the 2 elite studs. Bye weeks, I'm going to plug in one of these turds. Or heaven forbid, there's an injury that happens. I'm going to hopefully be able to use one of the injured quarterback studs that I have, plus my future first, to go get another stud from somebody else who's like, yeah, I'm not competing. I'll go ahead and trade you, let's just say, hypothetically, knock on wood, Joe Burrow were to get hurt like week 10. Trade deadline hasn't come up yet. I go to the guy who's got Jalen Hurts who's smashing and like, listen, I'll give you my 25 first and Joe Burrow. You're not using Jalen Hurts. Like, can we make a deal here? And most of the times, because I've been that guy on the other side who's got a quarterback like that who's playing, not doing me any good. I'm not going to win this year. Somebody comes to me with an equal quarterback who's hurt, and I'm like, well, the tax is your future first.
You got to make a pay tax, but yes, it's an absolutely viable strategy. Great point you bring up, because I think that is a very strong line in the sand to follow. Is if you have 2 smash quarterbacks, paying up for that QB3 that may only get in the lineup once for buys, it's probably not worth doing. Go the cheaper route for sure.
Oh, Redward's man of our heart right here. Bring back the league, please.
Bring the league's fantastic. I watch it all the time still. It's so funny.
Nate Lesson here. It looks like we have a mirror match going on in here.
Hey, don't act like you wouldn't want to be in the middle of this sandwich, baby.
I feel like my dad has some explaining to do. Like I feel like I have to ask him some hard questions about when he was in Boston, the Boston area. So, all right. Trip Crowd says Lamar's not QB6 next year, so he's getting hot.
What if he's QB5?
You'd rather have Lamar than Burrow in this league, probably. Or maybe.
Yeah.
Depending on scoring. This is what's great about SouthHarmonFF.com. Plug time. WoRP tool. You can plug in your league and you can find out exactly who you'd rather have.
Check it out. SouthHarmonFF.com. Great website. You guys, holy fuck, you guys got a good website on your hands.
As a 39-year-old man, 40 in 2 days. Well, early happy birthday to you.
Yeah,
to prove I'm hip, that Fizzle album, does it slap? Is it busted? I think those are good things. I slap, yes. I don't know.
Slap is good. Busting is also good.
Okay. All right. Thanks, Matty. This is why I had you on for the hard-hitting questions. Amon-Ra I'm with you. I like the Amon-Ra part here.
That is a large number.
12-team Superflex best ball, Tua and a third or 224 first. One early to mid, one late. All right, where are you at? You selling Tua and a third for 224 first? One of them has a possibility of being early.
I'm assuming in this situation, he's pretty covered at quarterback because I just don't see a team trading a quarterback in Superflex best ball unless you feel solid at that or you don't feel like you're going to win. And if you don't feel like you're going to win, take these 2 first for sure. But I like Tua. I don't think I'm selling Tua if I believe I'm going to use Tua in this format. So if he's my bona fide QB2, I'm sticking with the Tua right now because what are you trying to give up? It's only July.
I think if you're one of those people, like I'm notably so, hand to God, I'm much higher on Tua. The insider cruise information that I dropped here a couple months ago. I'm notably higher on Tua than a lot of people, and I think rightfully so. The concussions are worrying, no doubt. Like this is a guy also who we are worried about. One more hit could be the end.
Yeah,
but doesn't it also feel like we've said that about Brandon Cooks for the last 17 years? Like this is a
four
guy
teams later,
right.
Yeah.
4 teams later, endless 1,000-yard seasons later. I'm really comfortable with Tua. I really am.
Me too.
When he played last year and he wasn't concussed, so the Green Bay game, second half, he was phenomenal. He was absolutely electric. 2 firsts for him. I think if you're scared of Tua and you just want to say, hey, I'm just cutting ties, I want to get out, want to de-risk myself, it's probably the right process play. For me, it's really hard for me to do. So I'm going to try to put my fandom aside and how I think about it. I would say yes, you want to gamble on the early to mid. If you're competing, though, like you got to find a way to try to replace that Tua production, which is hard. But if you're one of those middle-of-the-road teams in best ball or you're on the rebuild side, take your 2 first, move on with your life. And if something bad happens to him, you'd be like, good. If he does hit and he smashes, how much higher does he really go than 2 first, though, Matty? Like, it's going to be hard.
This is probably going to be peak at that value. And this early to mid label is just that. It's a label. It could be 2 earlies. If this late team has catastrophic injuries, what have you, getting the 2 first does make sense. And like you were saying earlier about the one of these previous trades, if he's looking at 2 top 10 quarterbacks and 2 is his third, I mean, this is a smash.
I like it. All right. So X to the next GS, the one who's given us all the hip terms. He's got a question. So he's got Lamar, T-Law, Mahomes, 12-team Superflex, start 8. So this is shallow as shit for a 12-team. He's got the 102, 104, 105. Might be looking at A-Rich, Bryson, Stroud. Should I move the 102 and 104 for 101? All right, Matty. So he's got a QB hoard going on. He's got 3 studs. And he has the possibility of adding all 3 quarterbacks in this year's rookie class. Should he move them or should he just draft them?
X, if you draft a quarterback here, you may get subpoenaed from a lawyer in Florida for excess QB hoarding. So if you want to stay out of jail, I recommend making the trade for the 101. But all jokes aside, start 8, you have these quarterbacks. Hell yes, I'm taking these 2 and moving up to get Bijan. Bijan is the luxury of a team that's looking to win now. Running backs are so unpredictable. If you can get him for that rookie campaign, you can maximize that value. So yes, I will trade the 102 and the 104, even though it's to move up 1 spot.
Yeah, I think it's completely fair. I mean, it sounds like a lot to pay for Bijan. It does, but let's think about it. It's the Dynasty RB1 right now. We haven't even seen him play a game. That's how highly we think of him. And an offense that runs the ball a shit ton with Arthur Smith. Quarterback situation, not so good. Probably going to need to run the football. And it's a start 8 where positional advantage at running back is probably going to be pretty huge based on what other people are going to have to roll out. You already have quarterbacks. Now, the sinister part of me, the viral part of me goes, fuck this league, man. I'm taking all these quarterbacks. Like I will offer it, but if they try to milk me for anything more than the 102 and 104, piss off. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to take A-Rich and I'm going to take Bryce and I'm going to take Stroud. And now I have 6 quarterbacks in the top 15 in most people's dynasty ranks. Come at me. Come at me. Yeah. Any of them are for trade at any point. But let me tell you, the price is going to be a lot. Okay? The price is going to be a lot. You should have taken A-Rich at 101 and left me Bijan at 102 because trading for him now is going to be a pain in the ass.
We did a show a year ago might have been back in the Kiwoom and Jones days. Shout out Chris Jones. And I said that the 5D and the 4D chess name was Diabolical. And we just saw that come back out. The Diabolical came out. My cynical mind, my sick mind went to this. How good are you at convincing others? Can you convince the 101 that A-Rich is the no doubt pick? If you can do that, then you might as well stay at the 102 and get Bijan.
Right. You should just put out those stupid feelers, when somebody goes like, hey, who are you thinking about drafting at the 101, right?
Yeah.
You should just be like, listen, I'm just curious. I pick 102. Just wondering if you were interested, if you're taking A-Rich or not. Like, I really like him. I'm a big Florida Gators fan. Or like, I'd probably change my sleeper logo to like the Florida Gators or like
Just
Anthony Richardson. Right.
He's improving. He's
Using
evolving.
mind
Gardner
games.
Minshew said he's the greatest quarterback ever.
Doing stupid shit like that just to see if you could get that one subliminal thing to go through. It's like, God, look at this dumbass.
He's like,
all right. So Cooper said I'm flying through these comments. Need to get more good questions in here. All right. Fields in the 101 or Josh Allen. So here you go.
Fields in the 101.
I'm with you. I like Josh Allen a lot, but Bijan and Fields.
Yeah. And if you're QB needy,
Rich and Fields.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I'll go ahead and Fields in the 101 acquired, not earned, or Josh Allen. 6-point passing touchdown still doesn't change it for me.
No, it doesn't. No, because I'm thinking that given Josh, I mean, let's talk about Justin Fields though. Coming out of college, he wasn't this rushing guy that had no arm. He threw the ball. He was accurate in the OSU prototypical, passing game. I'm expecting to see more passing stats, better passing stats with the acquisition of DJ Moore.
Please.
Year 2 of this offense. I'm thinking I believe that there'll be more touchdown passes from Justin Fields. So the 6-point passing touchdown doesn't sway it much for me.
I love advanced analytics, and let me be completely honest. There's a lot more smart people out there doing advanced analytics than me. I'm pretty dumb. But a lot of my fantasy analysis just goes with a lot of common sense stuff too, right? I look at Justin Fields last year, and we had this discussion, Adam and I did, when your top receiver weapon is Byron Pringle, not very good. Do you really want to throw the ball a whole lot? DJ Moore, a guy who's had perennial shitty quarterbacks, and produced with perennial shitty quarterbacks, gets the best quarterback of his career, barring his rookie year with Prime Cam, in Justin Fields. Justin Fields, we saw in college, can throw the football. 2 good wide receivers. Ohio State produces them left and right. Last year, Byron Pringle was the best one he had. Now he gets DJ Moore. Offensive line was a big issue. What they do in the draft, address offensive line, as well as, bring DJ Moore in with that trade. I put the puzzle pieces together and I go, it won't be like last year. It won't be like last year. If it is like last year, I completely suck at this and I don't know anything, right? So, okay, I'm fair. But that's how I look at it with Justin Fields. That's why I rank him high. People just want to look off and go, well, they threw the ball the least amount of times. And I said, yeah, no shit. Cole Kmet was your top earning target getter. And he's kind of a mid tight end. How about that? Did I use that correctly? He's mid.
He's dude. He's hella mid, bro. He's so mid, bro. So mid, bro.
I'll do a segue about tight ends. Here's one: non-tight end premium. If you have a stud Pitts as your starting tight end, but have a very solid backup like Njoku, do you deal Njoku, or is it worth more for me just to keep him just in case? All right. So your non-tight end premium league, you got a stud in Pitts. Are you dealing Njoku as your backup, or are you keeping him?
I'm keeping him because Pitts. We need insurance for Kyle Pitts. If you want to win, if you're looking to win this year, you need insurance for Kyle Pitts. If you're looking for more, productive rebuild, kind of productive struggle type team where 2024 is your attack window, then I would do so. But if you're looking for 2023 to get them dubs, I think you keep him around because then if Pitts doesn't fire in this offense that's giving Bijan too many touches in 2023 for this era of football, now you do have Njoku to fall back on because, and Adam knows this. He's living in the Cleveland area. I'm sure he's getting all of that wafting of all of the beat reporters and in the local news about the Browns. They're obviously looking to chuck that rock this year, bringing in Elijah Moore, drafting Cedric Tillman. They didn't bring in another running back. They're saying, hey, we'll use Chubb in the passing game. We're just going to start letting the $200 million quarterback throw the ball. Njoku's going to be a benefactor of that, no doubt about it. So I would definitely keep him around if you're looking to win this year.
I like Njoku a lot. And this is another thing, shout out to the WoRP tool that you're going to find. And one of the big things when I've been looking at it, Matty, is most of my leagues, once you get past, tight end 4, even starts a little bit earlier, a lot of the tight ends are just kind of the same shit from there to the end. So if I've got a guy like Njoku and I can find any one person who values him, maybe it's the guy who's got Deshaun Watson, maybe not, but maybe there's a big Njoku fan in my league or somebody who's been talking them up. I'm just going to try to find a similar tight end that maybe they rank lower than him. If I think it's Juwan Johnson or, like Mr. Mid Cole Kmet, I don't really need Njoku. So let me get your tight end that you don't like as much, who's going to score WoRP wise, same kind of advantage for me, and get any kind of a plus on top. And that's how I'm just going to keep stacking assets on my roster. Because even that third that you get on top, maybe that helps me buy a running back in season when I need a spot start, or I need to throw in that third in another upgrade package to like get a better wide receiver that I feel comfortable about. Like I really like Njoku, and Adam and I talked him up, but the more and more I look at the WoRP tool for all my leagues, I'm going like, he just kind of falls into that range of tight ends I don't really give a shit about, right? It's pretty much Travis Kelce and then everybody else. Like, that's how it's become.
Yeah. If you can get a tight end that you feel comfortable with, my only fear with trading him away for assets is that you then use those assets to get the tight end that you already had on your roster.
Right.
If Njoku does pop a little bit. But, I mean, if you're telling me you can get Kmet, or this might be a move. If Njoku's burning that hole in your pocket, a Gerald Everett who had a sneaky good season last year, but you can get a pretty decent second piece because I don't think Gerald Everett's being valued really at all right now. So something like that, I would definitely at least, kick the tires on.
Yeah, I feel so bad about Gerald Everett too, because I kind of like him, and it feels like he's just got lost in the shuffle. And even when I do my ranks, I pulled it up, and I'm like, what the hell was I on when I put Gerald Everett at 23?
Tight end 11 on a points per game basis last year, I'm pretty sure.
Like the guy with Justin Herbert, whose offensive coordinator just made Dalton Schultz a thing for a couple years. I'm going, I'll put him at 23rd. I was definitely on the vodka that night. So my bad to the patrons who pay for the ranks, because I fucked that one up for sure. How about Joey Cheesesteak's advice? No quarterback approach kind of hurts. Just tuning in. Cheers, gents. Thanks, Joey. That's great advice. You shouldn't do the.
You cannot run the Wildcat in fantasy football.
Right. Johnny, great show, boys. You're doing fantastic. Bravo. Keep it up. Finish strong. Thanks, Johnny.
Shout out, Johnny.
We're going. I didn't know quarterback hoarding was a federal crime. Neither did I. If you're a quarterback hoarding lawyer out there, right, you're able to defend it, hit me up. My DMs are open. Interesting thing I found in the WoRP tool, it's a normal 12-team Superflex half PPR league. A normal half PPR actually does not favor running backs. It's just even between running backs and wide receivers. Yeah, kind of switch back and forth between the two. In a PPR league, Matty, just for demonstration, like the graph for the wide receivers will generally be above the running backs the whole way down. So 1 for 1, they're usually wide receiver 15 is more valuable than running back 15.
Yep. We actually had this conversation in the executive chat. You're giving me a nice lesson. That was exactly what you talked about. Yeah.
Same kind of thing, but in half PPR, it switches where they're more even, right? They're more dead center. So if you think a wide receiver is going to be finishing that wide receiver 24 range, I'm here to tell you RB 24 is just as valuable. Now, the crazy thing is, though, the difference between like RB 24 and wide receiver 24 and how we look at them, we look at wide receiver 24 and we go, I like that guy. He's got some things going for him. That's Brandon Ayuk. That's kind of like, I like him. He's got some things going for him. We look at RB 24 and we go, oh, this dude's fucking dead. this guy's junk. Is
he dust?
So in a PPR league, you're more than right to say, yes, I'll take the wide receiver 24 over him. If you're competing, though, for me, when I look at it, I go, just give me the running back in that range, right? Because he's cheaper. Usually I can get a plus on top of it. People are more safe about the wide receiver. For long-term dynasty value, yeah, it's probably the better choice to take the wide receiver. But for right now to compete, give me the guy who's RB24, because we've also seen those guys also pop up and score an extra couple touchdowns, and all of a sudden they're RB12. Now you're at a massive difference. So, yeah, that was an interesting trip. I see that on the WoRP tool. Me and Matty talking about it in the executives Discord. Let's go.
Yes, sir.
Dynasty FF, how does your startup strategy change in a 12-team versus 10-team Superflex lineup? Start 10, no tight end preview. Okay. I'll let you answer this, Matty, because my answer is pretty simple.
I don't know if it really changes much, except I am just that much more aggressive at quarterback.
Oh, yeah? Okay. 12-team, more aggressive on quarterback. 10-team, don't really give a shit as much.
Yeah.
How's my strategy changed personally? I don't play in 10 teams. So that's the shitty answer, right? Somebody's like, you want to join my 10-team league? I say, no, thank you.
Get 2 more people.
You get find 2 more friends and then hit me
Call
up.
Kiwoom. He will do it. He's trying to QB Hoard. Call Kiwoom. He wants to QB Hoard.
A Trip Crown, exactly what he said, but for a 14-team, he just joined a 14-team Superflex, start 11 best ball. So, all right. For 14-team, I'll answer this one. Quarterback, even more important. So we just keep riding up this scale. You're going to see in a lot of 14-team startup leagues or auction leagues, however your startup is determined, the quarterbacks go for crazy. So 14-team, it's not absurd to see like the first 10 picks, first 11 picks be all quarterbacks before anybody even considers studs like Jefferson, Bijan, Chase, insert whoever. 14-team, you need those quarterbacks. And best ball Superflex, yes, definitely want those quarterbacks. So quarterbacks are extremely valuable. If you get the choice of where to pick in the draft and you don't pick the 101, if that's the option, you're doing it wrong.
Yes, because if not, you're going to get a steaming pile of Daniel Jones, Kirk Cousins in round 1 or 2. And you're going to have to like it.
Yeah, hard pass. Fizzle says, preach, Matty. Fields to the moon. So
let's go, Fizzle.
Fizzle's the field. That's why.
Fizzle, I'm checking out that album tomorrow too, baby. I will, and I'm gonna let you guys know how good it is because I'm definitely gonna peep it out tomorrow.
All right, let me scroll through.
I use that right. See, I think I went too far with the youth lingo. Peep it out, is that a thing? I don't know. You can peep it out.
All right, so Shane Joe just made it, and Redwood said just in time. Smash that like button. Yeah, if you could hit that like button, we appreciate you. You don't have to. Oh. No one's holding your feet to the fire. I won't flame you on Twitter, I guess.
Michael, get your ass viral.
I'm sorry. True, definitely harder to acquire. Yes, wide receiver 24 than RB 24. You missed some good jokes, Shane. I apologize. First 10 minutes for gold. How about Fizzle here? Ayuk or Kirk? Ayuk can become the number 1 and really can leave next year helping Kirk. Kind of stuck on who has the better long-term value. All right, Matty. Do you like Ayuk or Christian Kirk?
I mean, we're talking about that Spider-Man meme wholeheartedly. They're just do the same thing, pointing right at each other. It's like me and Mike on the show. He's in a
Nate List the mirror episode.
This is the Nate List paradox. We're gonna call this, but I just have a preference to Kirk. I like the guy who has the 1,000-yard season now under his belt. He has that 1 year of rapport with Trevor Lawrence. I do think he can support multiple pass catchers in a given season. So I don't think that you need to have completely fade Kirk because Ridley will be playing in week 1. I do like Kirk. I think I'm going to take him over Ayuk.
This is tough, man. Because if I talk about just if I remove all dynasty value from the conversation, like you're 1,000% right. Kirk and Ayuk, it's Spider-Man, man. They're the same dude, basically. I will say though, I probably prefer Ayuk because the community is starting to approve of Brandon Ayuk even more, right? There's been a lot of positive that has come out about Brandon Ayuk, right? Shout out to Matt Harmon, his reception perception profile of Brandon Ayuk. That chart looks chef's kiss. Brandon Ayuk is good at football, though. We also found out Christian Kirk confirmed good at football. So tiebreaker for me, Fizzle. I'm going Ayuk. We got 2 different ends of the spectrum here, but it's not like it's crazy. They're not that far off. I look at my ranks, and it's like Brandon Ayuk at 20. Christian Kirk at 31, and you go, holy shit, 11 spots. But let's just think about a lot of those guys that are in between. Basically the same dude. I'm comfortable with them all. I'm comfortable with it all. It just matters where I get them at value.
And if you feel that way, Fizzle, you do get the cheaper. I mean, not the cheaper, the younger the receiver in Ayuk. He's like about a year younger. So if they're kind of equal skill wise in your eyes, Fizzle, the Ayuk route, just take the younger guy.
Here's the easy one. Like go acquire the one that's cheaper. Right?
Yeah.
Go acquire the one you don't have to pay as much for. It's the same thing.
Safe.
Small wrinkle on top of the 14-team best ball. It's start 3 running back. Now I imagine in a start 3 running back that'll change the WoRP. But you're still going to want quarterbacks. Quarterbacks rule the world, period.
They do. Mm-hmm. That's what the movement started, was because the fantasy football didn't reflect the importance of the actual importance of a quarterback. It's the most valuable position in all of sports, and our fantasy games didn't reflect that value. That's what made Superflex so popular.
Yeah, it did. It did. I think, man, who was it? Shane Hallam. So draftcountdown.com. And the guy that we've had on this show, Adam and I interviewed right before the draft. Good guy. But I remember him talking about it a couple of years ago where like Superflex was our fix for us not properly valuing quarterbacks. And it's still not perfect, right? There should be a better way to measure quarterback success or make quarterbacks more valuable in fantasy football leagues. But for now, it's the best we got. And because it's the best we got, we play by the rules. And, not the unwritten rules. This ain't baseball where it's Bush League to hoard quarterbacks. But 14-team Superflex best ball league, you want all the quarterbacks you can get. Let's see if I got one more question to get out of here on. Kind of scroll through here. How about this one? In a shallow Superflex PPR league, 8 teams start 10. Son of a bitch. How many 18-team leagues?
They're putting you to the test. You are getting a crash course on 8-team leagues tonight, my friend.
I know, man. How aggressive do you get in trading for elite assets? So his quarterbacks are Watson, T-Law, Bijan, Gibbs, ETN, wide receivers JJ, London, DJ Moore, Addison, Deontay. So he offered ETN and Jameson for Amon-Ra St. Brown. So first part for me, I'll answer it, and then we'll get your thoughts on the trade. Matty, you can answer it as well. How aggressive do you get in trading for elite assets? The smaller the lineups, the smaller the leagues, the more the studs matter. The absolute more the studs matter. You want those WoRP advantage guys everywhere you can get. So, Matty, you have the same opinion about the elite assets? Do you get pretty aggressive for it? And what do you think about his deal, ETN and JMO for Amon-Ra?
You hit the nail right on the head, Mike. The shallower the league, the more important the studs are. More important is to get, the QB 5 over the QB 8 means that much more when it comes to the shallower leagues. In terms of this trade, give me the Amon-Ra St. Brown with a bullet in this format. And if you can now have JJ, DJM, and Amon-Ra St. Brown with Deontay, Addison, and Drake London lurking, hell yes, you smash this like button, because the closer we get to the season, I don't know how you feel about Mike. My gut is not as sure about ETN going into 2023.
Man, I hope a patron of ours, Blitz, ain't in here. He's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. But Matty, I'm with you. I was gonna give the hot take about Travis Etienne. It's probably one of the running backs where I rank him high because dynasty value, but I don't feel good about him at all. And I'm actively trying to tear him down everywhere I can. And
yes,
it's to the extent where, I said, for me, I'm at the point where, think about his teammate, Tank Bigsby, Matty. I will actively trade in all my leagues, Travis Etienne away to the guy who has Tank Bigsby for Tank Bigsby and his 24 first. No questions asked. I will take the shot on Tank Bigsby having a fairly significant role in Jacksonville, and I will take your first as collateral. Right? I'm good with it.
I know it seems to be hot takey, but I'm not going to give you a whole lot of pushback. I think you would feel a little uneasy about that, making that move, but I probably on the side that I think that Tank Bigsby's better than what people give him credit for.
Right.
They're excited about him. I mean, Doug Peterson is hyping him up every chance he gets that he's going to have a role, that they want to lighten the load for ETN, a load that, didn't consist of catching the ball even when he didn't have the lightened load last year. Yeah, I think that's a fair move to make. And in this particular trade, you could be looking back on this a year from now as you gave me the wide receiver 5 for the running back 15 and a guy that never really fired because he can't stop gambling at the team practice facility.
He's got to play them DraftKings, man. Like he's got to get on there and put his parlays in. Not as bad as Calvin Ridley, right? Like what was that? An 18-team parlay, whatever the hell it was. Like, come on, man. Those never hit. If they hit, I wouldn't be doing a podcast right now. I'd be on a beach in Bermuda.
I think what it was Calvin Ridley placed a piece of the parlay that equaled one game for the NFL season. So every single part of his parlay cost him a game in the NFL last year.
Oh no! All right, what if I say I'll get you out of here on this then? With the Travis Etienne, this is how we're going to end the show. I'll give you the list, so just think about it. You're getting a random 24 first. Like how deep down this list, you can just rapid fire off a yes or no in your opinion. So
okay, so this is the running back attached to the 24 first.
Alvin Kamara.
I would rather have Etienne.
Okay. Joe Mixon.
Give me Mixon.
Damian Pierce.
That's close enough. Give me Pierce. Give me Pierce in the first.
Pierce
and I'm not
first.
a big Pierce guy.
A-Chain or Kendre Miller? I'll put them back to back.
Kendre, yes. A-Chain, 100% yes. A-Chain, a little bit no if Dalvin goes there. But I'm also in the camp that I think if Dalvin goes to Miami, A-Chain can still get his because he doesn't need a ton of touches. So I think I'm saying yes to both of those.
What about prayers up Antonio Gibson?
Yeah. I mean, when you put the prospects together, is there that much of a difference between Etienne and Gibson other than the fact that Etienne was a bad first-round pick? I mean, yes, he has the draft capital, but Urban Meyer made the pick. I mean, if we're not going to respect his football mind, why do we have to act like that first-round pick was, significant?
How about a guy we talked about earlier in the show, James Cook? James Cook in a first or Etienne?
I'm going to go Etienne there. I'll stick with Etienne there.
Oh, we found it. Isaiah Pacheco, same thing?
Nope, I'm taking Pacheco. I love Pacheco. I think he breaks out in 2023.
James Conner, old crusty.
If I'm looking
James
to win
Conner.
Now, I'm taking Conner.
Oh yeah, I love
Conner.
Jamal Williams, Mr.
No,
Pokemon.
I gotta go Etienne. Etienne.
All right, we're starting to get down there. But the point is, you got about like 20 running backs where you go like, if I could attach a first to Etienne, maybe just start at the top of your league, at the top of your list, and just see how low you got to go. I love it. I love it. All right, Matty, before I get you out of here, plug whatever you got to plug. I know I gave the Patreon, the executives to check out, but do it again. Do it again. We need another role. This is Executives Week after all, and you and Cody are phenomenal. Love listening to you guys, and two of my favorite people in the space hooked up. They got their own Patreon. It just feels so good. It feels right. I can't wait to get to see you guys at the expo here in a couple weeks. So I know Cody's excited about it, so we're going to go hard.
Yeah, well, now you got that tech money. You got that startup tech money, baby. Christian took out. All right. Yeah, you can find me at the patreon.com/theexecutives, me and Cody Carpentier. We record some episodes. He's got his rankings coming out. We're going to have a whole lot of stuff throughout the season to help you guys win in your fantasy leagues. I got a lot of content coming out at playerprofile.com. The world famous draft kit is live. I did a whole bunch of write-ups and a bunch of videos on some of those players, so check that out. The game plan comes out every single Saturday. Had the boys on. We were talking about the art of tearing down. The game plan is your stop where if you want to learn things to add to that tool belt to win in fantasy, check that out. Trade Gods on Thursday with my man Jason Allwine. We kind of just shoot the shit, talk trades, like what Adam and Mike do, which is great trade show. So maybe we need to have a trade mega show.
Oh yeah,
coming up soon.
Man. Dynasty Trades in 5 just did like a 5-hour stream. We can at least do an hour together, can't we? Can't do an hour and a half.
Why can't we just hashtag some 6 hours, baby? Get that record going.
Try to one up them. We can do that.
The four of us, we could.
Listen,
like you and Adam how much more can you and I talk?
Adam and I stayed for all of day 3 of the NFL draft for 2 years in a row, live streaming the whole thing. So we can do anything because that is brutal when you're talking about punters and kickers getting drafted.
When I much like yourself at the draft house, the player profile of the draft house, I was on there with Cody for the last 4.5 hours of day 3.
Yes.
It gets hard to talk about it when 17, 18, 28 picks in a row go by and you're like, don't really know. Read a cool fact about him 5 minutes ago, blah, blah, blah. So, yes, we could do a 6-hour stream, no doubt. But that's kind of where you can find me and on Twitter at Matty Kiwoom.
Love it, brother. A couple weeks, we'll see you live and in person. Make sure that you're getting out to the Fantasy Expo August 11th through the 13th, 11th through the 12th. I get my days mixed up, but it's the second week of August, right?
Yes,
After the Hall of Fame week.
I think it's 11th.
Right. I got my tickets booked. We're going to have Bob Lung on the 4D podcast on Friday if you want to check that out. We'll have all the official information. And don't forget, because it is Executives Week, Saturday morning trade show. Cody Carpentier on there, and he did a trade show first, man. He actually gave percentages of wins versus loss on the trades, right? Something we'd never done here. Cody out here giving like 65, 35. I don't even know if that math adds up.
I have to give him a stern talking to. He never even revealed that when we talk trades on our show. So, Cody, we're going to have to talk about this. And Cody's a math, so I'm going to have to give him all knuckles. I'm not going to. Cody's way bigger than I am.
Yeah, I think he could take you and me. It'd take like 4 or 5 of you and me just to tie his
Mike.
shoes.
Mike, I don't know. I saw you in person. I was like, Mike can handle himself. He's all right.
Nah, I'm just a big teddy bear, man. Just a big teddy bear. That's it. Yeah. I'm like Pillsbury Doughboy. I make funny noises when you poke my belly. We appreciate everybody. Thank you for tapping in. We'll see you same time, same place next week. Peace. We're out of here.